So, some of my recent research has surrounded itself around this concept called the difference makers, or the difference descriptors, if you will. And in this research, what I've done is studied successful educators that have come from urban environments. What I've been able to find is that there are four factors that really impact the success trajectories of people who are in education who come from these urban environments. And they are the presence of significant others, affirmations, relief through crisis and challenge, and then resource utilization. So the funny thing is that with significant others, you have three basic parts of it. You have, of course, parental influence, which we assume would be the case. But you also have the presence of significant educators in the lives of these men and women. And then the presence of significant others outside of the traditional family unit that also impact the success of my participants in the study. You also then have this concept of affirmations. What we found in my participants was that they had this incredible amount of internal strength. If I could sum it up by one participant's quote, they were just willing to not be outworked. They were determined that there was no way that someone would outwork them. They also had this concept called being on autopilot, where they were so focused and that focus was so intense that it was almost like a blur to them that they were getting through it and nothing would deter them. In fact, one person quoted, their discipline was books and push-ups. That was a symbol of what their affirmations were to themselves. And also they found their place. The third affirmation was they were able to find their place within education, which became very important for these significant educators from this environment. The third part was this relief through crisis and challenge. And the crisis and challenge came from both the school environment, but then also the outside environment. So in the school environment, what we discovered was that the importance of the middle years, those middle school grades, or even the grades from 5 to grade 9, were of utmost importance. They were either going to be very good or very bad, but they needed help and relief guiding them through that process. Also then, they needed this extreme help in school, getting around and navigating the spirit breakers. And that were teachers that were negative in tone, who were condescending, who were a bit led by their prejudices and didn't really want to help or work with those particular students. So that was finding relief through that and being helped to navigate through those types of teachers was important. In their environment, what I discovered was the increasing complexity of their environment. Yes, it was rough, but it was also a sense of pride and culture that they found within that environment as well. But also things like decision making became something that needed navigation to get through. That became a challenge in those environments. And then mastering adversity. The unfortunate part is that adversity befalls all of us. But what happened in my participants' lives is as they were able to experience these adverse times, they had guidance, they had help, they found solace within people in the community. So that was an important thing, learning to master their adversity in that environment. The last part is resource utilization. In resource utilization, having resources is not good enough. It is the actual utilizing it that makes the difference. So what we found was that for those particular participants, the involvement in extracurricular activities, whether it be sports or band or science programs or the arts programs, became significant. What also mattered was exposure outside of one's community. So for all of my participants, at some point in time, they found a way to do some type of travel, whether it was traveling for a science program or some type of special summer program, a camp in the woods, things like that. Or, as one participant said, their father took on a part-time job as a travel agent, and they were able to find ways to actually see more than just the area that they came from. And also through this resource utilization, they began to find meaning in education, and that became an important concept as they began to become exposed to more and learn more and develop in their own right. They found meaning in their educational experiences, and that kind of steadied them through the process of their environment. So if I had to sum it up again, the difference descriptors or difference makers were significant others, the presence of affirmations, relief through crisis and challenging critical years, and then the resource utilization of things in their environment.